Today we got the Dodge Dart by Hot Wheels in a very pretty color of pink. Let's go to Fandom and see what they got to say about this car. First of all, they call it the Dodge Dart, and the debut series was the Auto Affinity Motor City Muscle, produced from 2004 to the present, the designer being Larry Wood and the original SKU being C2649. Now, here's the description. First known as the Dodge Dart in 2004 Affinity Motor City Muscle Series, then in 2005 Hot Wheels Classics Series 1, the diecast was better known as the 1970 Dodge Dart, and in 2006 the name changed again to the 1968 Dodge Dart. Then towards the end of 2006, Holiday Rods changed to 68 Dodge Dart. The Dodge Dart resembles the actual Dodge Dart owned by Hot Wheels engineer Tom Snedden. So which Dodge Dart is it? What year is it? That's hard to say. So I'm just going to call it a Dodge Dart. Going from left to right, let's review the car. First of all, on the rear quarter panel, we find Mariposa Speed Shop, El Segundo, California. Very cool. Then coming on across, moving right, we find those 5-spoke white wheels. Really nice, with big tires on there. Then coming on across, we find Autolite. I believe that's Autolite. Somebody please correct me if I identify some of this tempo incorrectly. Then I believe we have Hurst, as in Hurst Shifters. That might be Holley. Check that real quick. Yeah, that's Hurst Shifters. And then below that we have B&M Racing and Performance. Then coming on across, we got the door. We got Swinging Thing on the door. Then coming on to the left, coming on to the right front fender, we've got Dodge, Goodyear, and then we have Holley. A lot of tempo on this car. As you can see, we got the sparkle paint on there in pink. We have a light cream interior. We don't seem to have a roll cage in this car. So for a drag car, this is a little unusual, I would think. But no roll cage there. The windows are down in this car. The quarter panel up front window is there. We do have a door handle on the car, but we do not have any door mirrors. Missing the door mirrors, unfortunately. Now up front, right behind the headlights, there is what looks to be a cornering light that is modeled. That is not a mistake. That is actually there. So I don't know, it doesn't look like a normal light, but it is there and it's on both sides of the car. So one other thing that I noticed while I was looking at this car is how insanely narrow this car is. This is like the most narrow Hot Wheels I've ever owned. Now, I've reviewed this car previously in a different color scheme and tempo scheme, so I'm a little familiar with the car. And I'm gonna tell you, this car is probably the narrowest Hot Wheels I've ever seen. It is so narrow that I would say it is probably more narrow than some Matchbox cars I've seen. And that gets pretty narrow at that point in time. Okay, let's move on. This car looks great from the 2 o'clock position. Let's go ahead and take a look at it from the front. There's not a lot going on the front of this car. Basically just the grille and the headlights and the bumper. And they're all in metal, same metal as the base of the vehicle, Zamac. So it looks great. No complaints here, just there's not a lot going on. There's some stuff going on in the hood, but I'm going to talk about that when we flip the car over on its side and take a look at it from the top-down view. Tempo on the left side of the car is basically exactly the same as the right side of the car. Now, there is one modeling difference. There is a left-hand side gas cap on the Mariposa right at the M of the Mariposa, so you can see it there. Other than that, left and the right sides are effectively the same. The rear of the car shows some modeling and some tempo that's desirable, but for the most part it's a little bland. So let's start with the bumper. The bumper is in the Zamac, same color as the base. Coming on up, we see the tail lights, turn lights. They are in chrome silver. Then we have Dart on the back of the car, which is a nice touch. One little piece of tempo on the back of the car, and they're almost forgiven, shall we say. 8 o'clock position reveals a very nice looking car. I like it a lot. Top down view reveals a well-formed trunk lid, the tan light white interior. Then it shows the big hood scoop on front. Now, what's interesting is there's a little tempo on that hood. At each corner of the hood opening, I assume that's supposed to be for a clip to get the hood on and off real quick, but those things are incredibly detailed. A lot more detail than you'd ever think. Looking at the base of the car, we see that it is metal. It is in Zamac. It has a differential along with an axle, a little bit of suspension there. Got a couple of mufflers there, I do believe. Got some mount points for the suspension, I believe that is. Coming on up, we got a drive shaft. We've got the transmission and a little bit of motor model there, along with some axle and suspension once again. Pretty neat. And then, of course, we've got the Hot Wheels information and the date of manufacturer and all that. So, pretty nice car. Hope you enjoyed the review. May buy another one of these days in a different color livery scheme. Until then, have a great day, and don't forget to like and subscribe.